Next chapter from Mists of Time Ngapuhi, Myths and Legends by Bunty Howarth. Manawarangi was an explorer. He flitted and danced around the camp, restless and eager to see what the new day would bring, and tried hard to encourage his cousin, Tuputupu Whenua, to join in his exploration of this vast new world. The huge trees fascinated him, trees with straight trunks and leaves that spread high above the forest, trees with berries of all hues, and flowers that coloured the world with their beauty. Then there was the forest floor, where birds ate bugs that moved beneath the dead leaves, and bark that had long fallen from lofty heights. One day, Manawarangi saw Kupe and his son walk to Te Tupuna o Te Marama. One day, Te Manawarangi saw Kupe and his son walk to Te Puna o Te Ao Marama and followed them. Manawarangi heard Kupe tell Tuputupu Whenua that he must remain in the new land and plant his roots. They argued for a long time until Kupe strode away, leaving his son angry. Manawarangi went to Tuputupu Whenua. "Go, Manawarangi!" Tuputupu Whenua cried. "Go and leave me alone. I do not want to stay in this cold land. I want to go home." "What is wrong with this land, cousin? Look around you. See the many things that we do not have at home. This is what my father tells me, but the waters are cold, the moon is hidden by the clouds, and we cannot sleep under the stars because the rains come upon us without warning. There are many things I do not like here. I want to go home." "Tuputupu Whenua, you do not listen. Your father says he will send more waka here filled with our people. Your whānau will be among them, I am sure." Tuputupu Whenua straightened his shoulders. "My mother is old, Manawarangi. How could she survive the long journey?" "Tuputupu Whenua, the time has come for you to leave the whare of your mother and take up the duties of a man. We are the first here, so we must prepare a home for those whom follow. Here is a place that will nurture all our whānau for generations to come. The food is plentiful and shelter is easy to find and build. Cousin, there is so much here that we—" Tuputupu Whenua threw his arms in the air. "I do not want to stay here. I would rather find the darkness between the thighs of Hinenui Te Pō." Manawarangi stared at his cousin, shaking his head. He turned and walked away. But in the days that followed, Manawarangi kept close to his cousin. When Kupe was ready to return to Hawaii, Manawarangi saw Kupe speak to one of the others and take the path to Te Puna o Te Ao Marama. Manawarangi realized Tuputupu Whenua was not among the group gathered to farewell Kupe's waka, so Manawarangi followed his uncle to the spring. When Manawarangi got there, he saw Tuputupu Whenua ready to jump. "No, Tuputupu Whenua, do not do that. Uncle, please take him home with you." Kupe shook his head. "No, Manawarangi. Tuputupu Whenua must do as I say. He will remain here. I have spoken." Tuputupu Whenua cursed. Manawarangi watched as Tāwhirimatia blew sand and soil around the feet of his cousin. He saw Tane Mahuta clothe him in bark. Kupe saw sadness for the eyes of his nephew, and he put out a hand to stop the impetuous young man from running to his cousin. But Manawarangi threw off the hand and ran to Tuputupu Whenua. The branches that were once arms of his cousin reached out, and Manawarangi was pulled off the ground. "I will not let him go, father. I will take him with me," Tuputupu Whenua screamed. The leaves grew around Manawarangi, smothering him, choking him, and although he fought, he could not free himself from the clutches of his cousin. Tane Mahuta watched as Manawarangi grew weaker. "Fear not, little one. I have a place for you. There is need for an explorer and messenger in this land." He made Manawarangi small and cloaked him in feathers, smoky, speckled grey ones on his back and soft white ones on his breast. To distinguish him from all the other birds of the forest, he shaped his tail like a fan. "There, Manawarangi," he said, "my brothers will recognize you as you explore the land. You will be the messenger that carries news from one to another. Manawarangi stretched his wings, and shaking himself free, flew from the depths of the leaves, darting in, out, and around the tree that once was Tuputupu Whenua. He saw red blossoms shiver. It's a pea waka waka. And shake as Tāwhirimatia breathed, soft and gentle once more. Manawarangi settled on a branch and chirped a sad song. Tuputupu Whenua, together we will plant our roots in this land. You did not obey your father, and now you are unable to move from Te Puna or Te Ao Marama. Your seeds will spread far and wide on the breath of Tāwhirimatia. I will visit you, my cousin, whenever I can. Farewell, Tuputupu Whenua. As he trilled the last words, he danced from branch to branch, touching each with a wingtip, and then flew away. Later, Manawarangi watched as his uncle left the shores of the Hokianga and trilled his own farewell from the edge of the sea until the waka's wake had vanished into the distance. Manawarangi then wandered the new land, carrying messages between the sons of Ranginui and Papatuanuku. He visited the people who had settled in their new home and watched others come in bigger and stronger waka. His own whānau grew over time, and he saw the seeds of his cousin fly on the breath of Tāwhirimatia and rest on the soils of Papatuanuku to grow tall and strong. The people began to recognize Manawarangi as a messenger, and the tidings he brought were told and retold by tohunga. Tuputupu Whenua had been renamed Pohutakawa, but Manawarangi had yet to be given a new name, until one day a tohunga spent the time watching the tiny bird, hopping and dancing around. His tail would shiver and shake with excitement like it was playing a game, while his head twisted and turned as if looking for something. The agile movements made the tohunga smile, and he named the bird Te Rairaka. Te Rairaka. I like that. Te Rairaka. So, another word for in our iwi instead of pi waka waka is Te Rairaka. Te Rairaka. And te means game, rai means shake, and raka means agile. So te rai raka means a game, shaking, and agile. To this day, Te Rai Raka visits and leaves his message. When he sits singing and dancing on the branches of the Pohutakawa tree, all is well. But when he flies into a whare, visiting each corner before leaving, he warns of a death to come. The message above is the one I was brought up with. There are different meanings between different iwi or hapu.